Hey there, I'm teacher Jolie. I just recently started teaching with VIPKID. In fact, I think I'm on day 19, maybe 20, something like that. I've taught about 15 classes so far, and I just wanted to share my experience because I know I could have used some of these tips when I was getting started. So first of all, one of the most important things that you'll probably hear about in your interview, if you haven't already, is lighting. And lighting is still tough for me. I've tried a couple different things. There are lots of great videos online, but I'll link to a couple things that have worked out okay for me so far. So one of them is a selfie ring light. It's a ring light, it's about this big, and it clips onto the little section of your computer that has the camera, and that has worked pretty well for me. In addition to that, I use a couple different taller lights that I scatter about my room to try and get light from each side and to avoid shadows. Unfortunately, the room that I record in or teach in doesn't have overhead lighting, so I need to use as much light as I can, especially for those early morning classes. So, lighting, that's number one. Work on it, try some different things, watch lots of videos on it because it's going to be a little bit difficult and it's going to take you some time to get the hang of it. And you don't want to get dinged for it. So, work on that lighting and always try out your lighting in class before you get into the class for the day. Go to a later class that you have, maybe something later in the week. Look at the camera, make sure your lighting looks okay, and then go into your classroom. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, makeup. I'm not wearing a ton of makeup today. I taught classes earlier, so it's already kind of worn off. But as much as I hate wearing makeup, you do need to wear a little bit of makeup just to get you going in the morning. I think a little bit of lipstick that makes your lips stand out, and maybe some eye makeup to kind of get rid of those dark circles that happen when we wake up really early. Those are some good things that you can do for just to add a little bit of punch to your look so that you can express yourself and really enjoy the way you look in the camera because you're going to be watching yourself a lot. So that's another one. Number three, prep. So this has two parts. The first part is props. When I was first getting started, I was really freaked out about props, and I think probably some of you feel the same way. There are teachers that you'll watch online that have hundreds of thousands of amazing props. They have rooms full of VIPKID props, and you can certainly go that route. For me, what I did, I went into my kids' playroom. In fact, that's where I am right now recording. I record in here because it's just easier. Because if I'm prepping for a lesson and I hear that we need a dog, I can go and look in her little animal section and find a puppy dog that I can use in my lesson. I also use a lot of the puzzles that my daughter has outgrown. These Melissa and Doug puzzles. This is a puzzle piece of a chicken. There's lots of other things that you can find in your child's playroom. Magic wands. This is from a game. This is a little pig from a game. So there are a lot of props that you can find in and around your house if you have kids. That's great. Now let's say you don't have kids or you have older children that have outgrown some of these smaller little toys that you could use and you've already gotten rid of them because you're not a hoarder like me. Just kidding, maybe. So 2D props are great for this. So 2D props, there are a lot of things that you can find out online. VIPKID Jennifer, you'll probably see some of her videos online. She has amazing 2D props. She runs a Facebook group that has a lot of amazing 2D props on it. So an example of a 2D prop would be something like this. This is a picture of a giraffe cut out, laminated, and you can add a little magnet to the back and stick it on a magnet board near you so you can just pull what you need. Or you can just leave it blank on the back and kind of file it. I have both magnet 2D props and I have filed 2D props. I find some of the go-tos that I use more often, like this little guy that I found on the Facebook group. These guys I kind of put in to my magnet section because I grasp them or I grab for them more often. Some of my rewards I use magnets on the back because I can grab different rewards for different children. If I start out with a reward like, I'm going to do superheroes, and the child's like, I hate superheroes, then I can go to something like ice cream very quickly and not really throw off my lesson. So grab stuff from your kids' room, grab stuff offline from the various Facebook groups that you can find, and use 2D props. It's easy, it's cost effective. The third type of prop that you can use, which is really great, is Google Slides. This is something I'm just now exploring. You'll see there's tons of stuff online. You're going to get in and you're going to go, oh my goodness, there are so many different levels to this. But that's why I'm trying to help you out. Google Slides, this is an example of a Google Slide. This is a game, a reward game called Find a Star. So when you click on a certain item, you can find a star. And then when you click on other items that don't have stars, you can see it has a cute little picture of a panda, little video of a panda. So this is something kids love. There are 100,000 Find a Stars online. That's just one example of Google Slides. You can find flashcards on Google Slides. You can find all sorts of things on Google Slides. But if you prefer not to have to deal with taking props with you or gathering props together, if you want to just use something that's right there in your phone, Google Slides is a great option. So that's part one of prep. Props. And again, things like that you find in your playroom, 2D props, and Google Slides are my big picks. And Dollar General, or Dollar Store. You can find tons of stuff at Dollar Store and not pay a lot of money. But you don't want to pay a lot of money. You're in this to make some more money. So let's talk about how we prep to make that money for our classes, because it's a great experience, but you also want to get paid. And part of getting paid is good prep time. So one thing that I do for my prep is when I look at my classes, I go on and I flip through all the slides and I take some notes on index cards. And the reason I do that, so I'll take a little index card and I'll write the name of the class on one side, and on the other side, where it's lined, I write the various props that I'm going to need. And after I do that, I don't get rid of it. I actually keep it in a little file folder. And I have my different files labeled from trial classes to L2 Interactive. And basically, as you can see, I've got my name of the class on one side and then my prop list on the other side. And I do this because a lot of times we're teaching very early in the morning. A lot of times if you decide that you're going to open up a class for 24-hour booking, you don't know until that morning that you're going to be teaching a class. I don't want to have to go through every single slide every single time. I want to just know, okay, I'm going to need a picture of a cat. I'm going to need the word fly. I'm going to need maybe an apple. And that way I have it all in one spot, and all I have to do is go to my file folder, pull out the class I'm going to be teaching, and just pull from there. I keep all my props in one general area, and that way the morning of, I'm not scrambling. I know what I'm looking for, and I can just pull it. Now for my 2D props and my flashcards, what I like to do is I prep the night before just to make it easier on those classes that I know I'm going to be teaching. If I do short notice classes, I can't always do that. But again, that's where those flashcards come in handy. And I take all my 2D props and I have these nifty little file folders, and I put my flashcards in the folders. My 2D props and flashcards in the folders. And that way, I have a stack of these sitting around, and I just pull the one for that class. Okay, 6:30 in the morning, I'm teaching Bao Bao, and this is what I need for the night, or for the day. So that has been really helpful to me, making those flashcards, and I don't make them for every class. Just as I get a new class, I make that new flashcard and add it to my box, and eventually I won't have to make any more. But making those flashcards, just knowing what preps I'm going to be grabbing and putting in my little clear plastic folders along with any notes, like you've taught this kid 3 times already, so remember that. Those are really helpful things for me. The other thing that I'll tell you that I just recently learned about is feedback. And I, so far, have been lucky enough to receive 5 Apple feedback across the board. It's been great. I'm very grateful to my students that I've taught and to their parents for really allowing me to teach them and for liking what they see. But I know I can improve on my feedback, And a book that I just picked up, or actually saw online and am reading online, is a great feedback book by Ed Nace. He also runs a Facebook group, and he's been a VIPKid teacher for a number of years, so he's a really good source of information. So that would be, those are my tips that I have for you. Lighting and kind of the way you look, prep, both props, what you need ahead of time, and what you should do to prep before your classes. And then, feedback, because feedback is really what's going to get you booked again and again. I have several regular students already, and I'm so grateful, and I just love them. And I think having really amazing feedback, writing really interesting and captivating feedback for their parents so that they know exactly what we're going over in lessons has been really helpful in getting some of those regulars. So thank you so much. This is my first video. If you are new to VIPKid or wanting to join VIPKid, I'm going to put links to some of the things that I showed in this video, and I'm also going to put my referral code. Feel free to reach out to me. I would love to be able to help you with the interview process from what I've learned. I'd love to be able to help you to become a VIPKid teacher, and I'd just love to share some feedback, some notes back and forth about the various things that I've learned as I've made it through this process. So thank you so much. Again, Teacher Jolie, and thank you for watching my video, and have a wonderful day.